Okay guys, I'm here today with Jake Mackenzie. Guys, I trained with Jake back in 2006 when we were both purple belts, and he was at Brazilian top team and I was Brazilian top team as well. And guys, he was one of the first foreigners that I trained in my life, one of the first gringos. And guys, he's one of the best non-Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys in the world, and also even like including the Brazilians, he's one of the best Jiu-Jitsu guys in the world. He's always in the quarterfinals, semifinals, finals. So I want to talk with him today a little bit about it, how it was to be the gringo in Brazil, and what he had to do to succeed in Jiu-Jitsu being a non-Brazilian. Especially because like when he was purple, brown, and black belt, Brazilian guys were pretty much dominating the sport like a lot. Nowadays we see, for example, this year we had 2 Americans winning the worlds, we had like some Europeans who went to the finals, this and that. But not too much on his time. So how was it, Jake? When was the first time you went to Brazil?
I went to Brazil first time 2003.
So which belt you were?
I was the blue belt. I just got the blue belt. I was a green belt, and then I got the blue belt just before I went.
So you were probably 16, 17.
Yeah, like 16 years old, and I went to Espírito Santo. I trained with Jamelon.
Oh, cool.
When I was there. So that's where I started to learn the half guard. Because he was a really good deep half guard player. I didn't speak any English when I went there, or not any English, any Portuguese when I went there. And I went there 2003, 2004, and 2005. But I stayed with a family when I went there because I had a friend from Brazil, and he was an exchange student. So when I went back to Brazil, I stayed with him. So it was really easy. I had, everyone spoke English in the house. And in 2006, when I met you, was the first time that I went to Rio, and the first time I went to Brazil, like living by myself, without having any support system.
And how was it? How was like the experience into that?
Was really tough because I couldn't speak. I could speak a little bit of Portuguese, a very, very tiny bit. But it was really, really good. Like I learned a ton about Jiu-Jitsu, about life, about living on my own. The first couple of years, the first couple of trips I took to Rio by myself were tough too, because like being a foreigner, a lot of times with the referee, especially at that time, I think things are a lot better now. But it's good, man. I've lived in Brazil now almost 11, or next year will be 12 years in total I've done in Brazil.
Yeah, and it's cool that you mentioned about that on referee, because one thing I think IBJJF, for example, could do a better job. I mean, like I love everything IBJJF does. I think they're so important for the growth of the sport, and they're making Jiu-Jitsu become huge. But as a Brazilian, one thing that I don't like is that when one Brazilian competes against one American or one European or whatever, the 3 referees are Brazilians. I think it should be like 1 Brazilian, 1 American, 1 European.
I think so too, and there's some good referees now. Like I know Oliver Geddes is one of the head referees.
He's from Europe, so maybe 1 American, and 1 Brazilian would be more fair. I think.
I think he does a really good job as a referee as well. He's refereed a lot of my fights, and I've seen him referee a lot, and I think he's a very high level referee.
I agree.
And I think that in the United States or in Europe or anywhere over the world, you can have a lot of high level referees.
I agree. Yeah, but anyway, like I think like. It's still a new sport, and IBJJF is still new, so I think they're on track to fix all these little issues. And so, Jake, another question. Like, so how was it for you? For example, your formula was kind of like to go to Brazil to improve the Jiu-Jitsu, right? Because at that time there was not like very good Jiu-Jitsu in Canada or US.
Sure.
But do you think nowadays people still need to go to Brazil, or?
I think it's an experience I think everyone should have, because the Jiu-Jitsu culture in Brazil is so much different from everywhere else, but it's not necessary. Like now, Jiu-Jitsu is so global. You can go anywhere in the world and find good training. Like the United States had 2 champions this year. Europe had 1 guy in the finals, 1 guy in the semifinals. And the overall level everywhere, all over the world, the Jiu-Jitsu just keeps getting bigger, and people just keep getting better and better. Like there's some good guys coming out of Canada. Dante Leon is very good too. He's a good friend of mine. We're from the same team. All over the world, the level just keeps getting higher. So I don't think people necessarily need to go and spend long periods of time in Brazil like I used to have to do,
Yeah, so guys, I see that as a big opportunity for everyone who's not a Brazilian, for example. Because, for example, in his time, he had to go to Brazil. For him to improve, he had to do that. There was not like very good Jiu-Jitsu in Canada, this and that. nowadays you can find like really great guys everywhere. I mean, like just in Canada, for example, I know like Leonardo Saggiore Cascão lives there.
Amazing.
You go back and forth there
Sure.
all the time. Jorge Brito is in Toronto. Thomas Lisboa is in Vancouver. And then if you start talking about Europe, there's a lot of guys too. Like Tommy, the one who went to the finals, it's in Norway. Aspen, the one who went to the semi-finals from Norway. In London, there is Roger. So it's everywhere. So I think that's very cool. So yeah. So any other thing you want to mention, like that? Any other experience that comes to your mind when you?
I don't know. I think for me, I think what really helped me after a long time was I got to know everybody. I got to know all the people that worked at the tournament, all the guys that were the bracket managers, the referees. That started to make things easier when I started to become friends with the guys. At the start, I felt like, man, everybody was like against me. You know, like if I saw I was going to fight a Brazilian guy, because I'd only fight Brazilian guys in Brazil, I'd be like, oh man, this is going to be bad. Maybe he knows the referee, but it's... Now that I've lived there for such a long time, I feel like I'm part of that community there, in the Jiu-Jitsu community in Rio, you know?
But do you feel like that at Pan Ams and Worlds as well, or...?
I know a lot of the referees just from competing internationally as well, but I think Jiu-Jitsu is growing, and I think it is getting more professional, you know? I know in Abu Dhabi they're doing the instant replay as well, which I think is really good, and I heard that IBJJF is going to adopt that. For quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals, they're going to have an instant replay. I think that's going to be really good. You know, so the 3 referees can take a look, but I think the point that you touched on is very important. I think that the refereeing has to be more international.
I agree.
You know?
I agree. Yeah, because I don't think it's good for the sport, the feeling that you have to be friend of the referees to have a better chance. But anyway, I think IBJJF is working on that, and very soon. So thanks so much, Jake.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Oh.